How you guys doing? In this video, we're going to talk about how to keep your Airbnb booked. All right. So let's get into it. So getting started on Airbnb is very important, right? The first 30 days of your Airbnb booking to follow this strategic, right, launch strategy. All right. So first and foremost, the launch strategy consists of this. You want to have two hosts, right? You have the main host and then you have the co-host. All right. So a lot of people think that once you get on Airbnb, the first thing you want to do is you want to go and put your listing, your house on Airbnb. You want to put it on bookings.com. You want to put it on VRBO, Home Away, Google. You want to put on all these different listings to get all the exposure. I, for one, do not recommend that strategy because I think the best approach to having a successful Airbnb is, for one, just learning one system at a time. So really specializing in one system, one platform, so you can learn the proper algorithm, so you can learn how to keep your Airbnb booked, which is what we did. All right, so we specifically started on Airbnb. We did a soft launch on VRBO. We didn't get a good response, but we've been able to consistently keep our Airbnb booked just using the Airbnb platform. So this is the system and the strategy that we used in order to do so. All right, remember, in the last video, I talked about how much money, how much income we made our first year on Airbnb, which was a little over $81,000 just from one Airbnb starting in February of that year and all the way up to December. We had 63 total bookings. All right, and it's just one house. And so these are some of the tips and strategies that you want to use to keep your Airbnb booked. For one, all right, you want to create a Facebook page. All right, you want to create a Facebook page for your Airbnb. You want to create an Instagram page for your Airbnb. You want to create a TikTok page for your Airbnb. All right, you do want to have a walkthrough video done for your Airbnb for several different reasons. So once you have all your social media accounts set up for your Airbnb, all right, and you've completed the video walkthrough, okay, so you want to start sharing. You want to start sharing that video in your stories, all right, in your IG stories with the link to the video. Okay, you want to start sharing that video on TikTok. You want to start sharing that video on Facebook with a link to the actual with the link to your Airbnb in all of these. And you also want to promote like promotions, right? So you may have hey, just listed promotions. We have a 20% off discount. Now let's talk about actually putting it on the platform. All right. The reason why you want to have two hosts for your Airbnb is this main reason. The first host is going to create a listing for the Airbnb. All right. They're going to add the co-host to the listing. Once you create a listing on Airbnb, it's very important that you go and you block off your calendar. All right. You're going to block off the calendar for the year, and you're only going to make available the first full calendar month. So if you're like halfway through the month, so let's say if you are like February 15th, then you'll block off up until you'll only make available the rest of the month of February and then March. All right. So April 1st, there will be no bookings. People will not be able to book from April 1st for the remainder of the calendar. All right. And the criteria you're going to put for that Airbnb listing is you will not allow guests to book beyond 7 days. So 7 days will be the max stay for that booking. And then 3 days will be the minimum stay. So your guests will either be staying for 3 days up to 7 days. All right. It's very important because when you go live on Airbnb for the first time with a listing, Airbnb is going to organically boost that listing for you. All right. So it's going to get it exposure for you for your first 3 bookings. And so you got to follow me on this one because this is very important. Now, the goal for your first 3 bookings is to get the bookings, for one, as soon as possible. All right. So if you do not block off that calendar, right, Airbnb is going to boost your listing. And what's going to happen is you're going to have guests that's going to go and book your calendar up for the holidays using that 20% discount, the new listing discount. So, for it could be for Christmas, it could be for Thanksgiving. But what's going to happen is your peak season dates are going to get booked up first for that discount. It could be 3 months out, 5 months. It could be 6 months, 8 months, 12 months out. And you've already exhausted that new listing boost, and you won't reap the benefits for months to come. So you have months that your Airbnb will be sitting without any type of boosting. All right. So it's very important to make sure you block off the calendar. Block off the calendar. So therefore, it's only the first full calendar month that's available for booking for the first 3 bookings. All right. Once the first 3 bookings are completed, now it's important it's important that your main focus for those first 3 bookings is a 5-star experience for the guests. So you're gonna overly like generous, over offer, whatever. You want to under promise, over deliver on every single booking for your first 3 bookings. And make sure the guests have an excellent experience, so they leave a 5-star review. Now, once those dates are booked, the first 3 bookings, now it's very important for the co-host to create a new listing for that same exact listing. So they're going to create a totally separate listing, and they're going to add you as a co-host to that listing. Now, you're going to go follow the same process for the listing. All right, the same process for the listing. And with this second listing, you're going to block off the calendar dates that were already booked from the other listing, all right, the main listing. And then you also going to block off the remainder of the calendar that's beyond that first full calendar month. So starting April 1st in this scenario, you're going to block off the remainder of that calendar. And so now what you're going to use is the organic Instagram boost. The organic Airbnb boost to be able to get 3 more bookings. All right, to get 3 more bookings for the first full month. So once those 3 bookings are booked, now what you realize that you have is you have a full calendar month that's actually booked on Airbnb for 1 booking. So this strategy will help you get anywhere between 85 to 100% occupied your first full month on Airbnb. And so it's important that you block off the calendar so the guests are not able to use that new listing promotion to book holiday dates. All right, that may be in the future. They like to use those new listing bookings for Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, Labor Day weekend. So you want to, or even in the summertime, right, for the summer months. So you just want to make sure that the new listing promotion is used to get your first month booked. Now, once the first month is booked, you can go back to the main listing, the very first listing, and you can open up that calendar for, to the first for like 12 months out. You can open up the calendar for 12 months out. And also you can go and you can change the booking requirements to only allow maybe up to like 120 days or maybe 2 months or 3 months. I don't think I would allow somebody to stay longer than 2 months in an Airbnb, especially, you starting out new, because you have to get familiar with your guests and what to expect. So you'll know how to handle things. You don't want a situation where somebody come and stay and they overstay their welcome. All right. And so I would put a max, maybe 60 days. Okay. Until you can understand your guests. And then for the second listing that was listed by the co-host, I would change that one. I wouldn't go 12 months out. I would change that one to 3 months out. So you have your first 3 months. For the first month should be booked. And so you have 2 additional months that are available. All right. And I would keep both of those Airbnbs running just like that. So one is only booking 3 months out. One is booking 12 months out. Anytime that and so with the platform, social media platforms. So remember, we talked about Facebook, LinkedIn, maybe you could use LinkedIn as well, TikTok, and Instagram. All right. So now for your first 30 days of bookings, you want to post something every day about your Airbnb, and you want to post the link to get people going. all right, going to your Airbnb, because what's going to happen is once you get through the organic boosts on your Airbnb, now Airbnb, you're going to hit that algorithm with Airbnb that you're going to have a lot of organic views. All right. And now you can monitor this on Airbnb by going to the settings. So going to the menu. All right. Once you go to the menu on the Airbnb app or on the computer, you can go to insights. And once you go to insights, it's going to start giving you some analytics. And so it's very important to monitor it, because this will determine what you need to do in order to get the views up on your Airbnb to make sure you're still getting bookings, right? And so once you go to the insights, you're going to go to conversions, then you're going to go down to views. All right, when you go down to views, it's going to give you the analytics. And with the analytics, you'll see, let's see here. This is, I think this is a weekly view over time, similar listings. All right. So if you go on the app, you can see the views for the last 7 days, the last 30 days, the last 365 days, or the next 7 days. On the computer, it shows a little bit different, but it still shows you, it still gives you a good understanding of where you are, where the views are. All right. So for here, as you can see, but like you can see the individual views. So what you're looking for when you're looking at the views is like you're looking at the negative. All right. So that means that this one is your views are down. All right. You're looking for a positive. So anything that's a negative. All right. Anything that's a negative, you want to make sure that you go and you start posting, the listing link on your stories. Once you get your reviews, hoping that it's a 5-star review, you want to start posting those 5-star reviews in the story, posting them on, the pages, create short stories on for your YouTube, like just post about the reviews and click the link. And what happened is you're going to get, again, more organic views to that listing, and Airbnb is going to keep it high on the page ranking, to where you're going to start seeing more organic views and also more organic bookings for your Airbnbs to help you keep it booked. Now, of course, this strategy is to get you going, and it's also a strategy to fill out your calendar. It's very important that if you start seeing that your views are going down on the analytics, so you have to watch this, I monitor it all the time, that you make small adjustments, such as you may want to make sure that your Airbnb is completely filled out with all the little details, such as, it's going to ask like a lot of details, such as, do you accept pets? I would definitely want to make sure that my Airbnb is pet friendly, because, normally people who have pets, they normally come and stay when they bring in their pets. If they're going to stay, longer than 3 days, they normally will bring a pet. So if you have guests staying a week to 2 weeks, they normally going to bring a pet. All right. So most of our guests that stay more than 3 days, they normally have pets with them. And so that's a great feature that you want to have. You want to make sure that and I'm going to talk about this and go over this in another video, as far as like the top maybe 5 or 10 resources or things you want to have for your Airbnb to help you keep it booked. All right. And help you manage your Airbnb. So we'll talk about those resources in another video. So stay tuned for that. Look, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want more content and updates on how to, build out a successful Airbnb portfolio, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Now, as we're looking at these views again, right, it's very important that you do one thing. After you get your Airbnb booked for the first 30 days, then you want to, for the first 30 days, you want to switch the main photo on your Airbnb, all right, at least once per week. You want to keep changing out that main photo. And this is why I talked about it in the other video of how to, what was it? How much money or what we made our first year in Airbnb. So go and watch that video. But in that video, we talked about when you're doing your photos, making sure you take of your main photo, right? That hero photo, make sure you take 3 different photos, have 3 different angles. And this is why, because you want to rotate that photo. You want to keep switching out your main photo at least once a week to get your first month booked. And after the first month, I would change that photo at least twice a month. All right. So again, this is one of the reasons why you want to have multiple photos of that main selling point. of their listing. It's going to help with the algorithm. And if you're changing it out, maybe once a week, go and look at the analytics, go and look at the views, and you'll see the views start to change. When you post a 5-star review, make sure you put the link and monitor the views, the organic views. Now, once you get your Airbnb booked and you're booked for 3 months, all right, you don't have to stop there. Once you start seeing where the bookings are coming from, maybe after your first full year, I recommend that you go to Airbnb and you download your report from Airbnb, right? Download the report and keep a track. Keep track. And this is one of the keys as well to keep your Airbnb booked. When you download the report, all right, it's very important to go to Airbnb reservations. Airbnb will actually give you the guest contact information. All right. And so when you get the guest contact information, it's very important to input it into the spreadsheet for the report. So now you can also send out the guest, send the guest discounts, all right, the past guest discounts after they've stayed, because once that guest leaves and checks out of your home, right, I think the Airbnb give you maybe like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 30 days tops, but I don't think they always give you 30 days. They give you maybe a 2-week grace period to actually go and view that reservation, and you can see the contact phone number for the reservation. And after that, you can't see the contact information anymore. All right. So the only way to contact those individuals, those guests that stayed there, is through the Airbnb app. And a lot of guests do not look at their app on a regular basis after they've checked out of Airbnb. So it's very important that you input that contact phone number in your spreadsheet. So download your Airbnb spreadsheet every single month and make sure you update it. Keep a log of all the Airbnb bookings. Make sure you add their contact phone numbers. And so we'll talk about another CRM system of how to send out blast text messages and so forth to send discounts to past guests, and then, or to family or friends. And I normally do this for slow months. So you'll need maybe a year for you to know when the slow months are for your Airbnb. But look, we'll talk about some of these other resources in another video. But listen, if you like the video, please hit that like button. If you want more content and updates on how to, again, build out a successful Airbnb portfolio and have a successful journey with your first Airbnb, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. If you have feedback, or if you have an experience that you want to share, make sure you leave it in the comments. See you in the next video.